Hi everyone, just trying to set things up correctly. My name is David Haskiya. I've heard that this is considered the longest title of any presentation, but I will try to make a presentation that is short and to the point. This is not about open source philosophy, it's about applying open source in building an interactive video experience that is enriched by content. It's a first prototype, so rather than just playing the film, which you can do anyway online, I thought I'd share a little bit of the reflections that I would, if we had a sprint retrospective, to speak in Scrum or Agile terms, I want to share those things that I would raise there in order for us to adapt, learn, and do better if we ever update this or create other similar videos. So the Europeana Remix brand name is an attempt for us to try to make our first social object. So a object based on Europeana content, but that allows for much more user interaction. We are running a number of projects that are related to the memory of World War I. For example, we've had a roadshow this year where the public were invited to commit to share memorabilia about World War I, usually in the form of family history and heirlooms, that was documented and registered and uploaded to this Europeana repository. All the information is openly licensed and freely reusable according to the freedom-defined principle, so not free as in free beer. We also wanted to test this concept of content reuse in API and mashups in practice. We wanted to try out HTML5 and video in particular, open video in particular, also because we want to support HTML5 and open video, and to do some experimentation with user-created annotations, comments. At Europeana, we discuss opening up our system to comments a lot. A lot of the issues have to do with Europeana being pan-European. So we need a moderating framework where we don't need employees in our office who are able to speak all 27 European languages in order to moderate it. So here we're going for self-moderation by the community. So it was about testing out some new things in practice. Now I will actually stop, and I will not play you the entire video, because it is online, and you can just play it, but I will play a little bit. So, what differs this video from another video? Well, the big thing is what you see popping up from the left and to the right, these content frames. These are the form of JavaScript plugins. This is developed with a JavaScript framework called Popcorn, and there are plugins that allow you to pull in contextual content from a number of sources on the web. There is basic support for Flickr, for Wikipedia, and other popular open repositories, and as part of this project we also made a plugin based on the Europeana API to reuse Europeana content. So what the user can do is to click on these, get more information if there's text, and then click through and see the full object if they want to. And if you're a visitor of this website and you find something, you find some information, let's say, for example, that you recognize this mustachioed man here, you know his name, then you can stop, add a comment saying, oh, this is my great-grandfather, John Smith. This is as much as I will show. Easier for you to play it yourself if you want to experience it fully. I'll continue from where I left off. A little bit of more summary of the technologies used. This is the typical LAMP stack. It's PHP scripts on top of a MySQL database. The HTML output is HTML5. As I said, we've been using this Mozilla-supported JavaScript library called Popcorn.js, which is for building the content interaction, the content enrichment of the videos. If you're not a developer, there's actually a what you see is what you get interface for authoring these kind of videos. It's called Butter, and it's freely available online. You run it in your browser. For this purpose, we developed a Popcorn.js plugin for the Europeana search API. To get this to work on the various browsers that support HTML5, well, not fully, but fully enough, we had to recode the video in a variety of formats, MP4, WebM, and OGV. The code is open, and it's on GitHub. So if you're a developer and want to try out this in practice or continue to build on what we've done, please do so. This is us trying to be open source in practice. This is the link. And try it out. So to apply some self-critique, we developed this very quickly with not so many feedback loops. So to do a sprint retrospective, what would I like to do differently? What would I like us to do differently if we developed a new video based on the same platform, or if we updated this one? On the design level, and the interaction design level and the graphical design level, I would like to have clearer calls to action. So the actions that we really want the user to take. And that is, apart from just playing the video, is to actually contribute. So commenting, adding your annotations, or sharing it on the social web to spread the word even more. Applying some self-critique, I find our interaction design here doesn't bring attention enough to the options to share and to comment. Also, to make this video go viral, it's easy to have hindsight, but we should, of course, have created an embed functionality. The same way you can create a snippet of code of a Vimeo or YouTube video, you should be able to do this here as well and paste the video into your blog or your website. Also, while it is open for annotations, there is very little community building here. I think to encourage people to annotate and share their knowledge, there needs to be a little bit more of feedback when you do so. Could be as easy to have a leaderboard to show who and how many user contributions there have been. But in any case, a little bit more of community nurturing also reflected in the interaction design. We did actually initially have a responsive design, so a design that adapts completely to the resolution of the user. But we had to create a fixed maximum size, not because the design didn't work, but because on slightly older computers, like the one we are issued at Europeana, if you have a high screen resolution and you play this video, your CPU gets killed. The HTML5 video can be something of a resource hog on the browser side. So that's what we encountered. That led to the video stuttering. It was not a good user experience. But still, if we can fix the video issues, I would like this to return to a fully responsive design. Also, it was out of scope with the project, but I do think a video like this would work especially well on a tablet or any other device where you interact by swipe or touch. That is not supported by Popcorn right now, but I think it's something that the Popcorn community, well, if they want my advice, I think it would be a good strand of development for them. Also, the formal accessibility of the site, we need to do a proper review here and improve. I'm not talking here about the fact that you can't play it in Internet Explorer 8 or 7. That's just a fact when you're doing HTML5. But more the color contrasts and keyboard navigation, for example. So those were some of the design critiques I would level at myself. A little bit about the technology then. We developed this quickly, so I would definitely look at this first remix video as a prototype. Which means also that you build something, it works, but looking at the code, it's not always the most elegant solution. I wouldn't mind a little bit of code refactoring here. It would also make it easier to extend the functionality of the code if the code is better structured. When it comes to HTML5, I would also like to say that, well, sometimes, when you reduce things to buzzwords, HTML5 sounds like this magic bullet where everything will magically work in any browser, or at least any browser that is modern. We had to put in a lot of effort to get this video to work well across browsers. It's not a magic bullet. You still need to do the work. Like I said, Popcorn is not ready for swipe or touch control. I think that would be a good... it's not really a critique, it's just a fact of the platform chosen, and it was really out of scope for this first project to extend that as part of the project. But it's something that I would like to do in the future if we continue with this platform. Also, something to realize, video encoding, making the perfect video to stream across the web with good quality for the user, concerning pixelation, frame rates and so on, is really sort of a mix between an art and a craft. It's fairly specialized. I think there is a lot a video encoding expert can probably do with the videos. Our WebM and OGVs and so on can probably be re-encoded to be a little bit more performant. And then perhaps we can return to this responsive liquid design that we had in the beginning, where the user can just blow up the video to his huge 2000 times 1800 pixel screen or something. Yeah. So those were the self-critique, or rather the learnings. It's about adapting and doing better in the next iteration. So those are the things that I've been thinking about. I'd happily take your input as well. I've uploaded these slides to SlideShare, and it's tweeted. The code is on GitHub. The service is online. So please get back to us at Europeana if you have ideas on how to improve this platform. And I'd like to just end with a frame with the people who have been involved here in researching the content, setting up the conceptual design, doing the development, and then also actually making sure it got online on a web server where all the users could reach it. So that was Europeana Remix. The title was long. I hope the presentation was to the point. Thank you.